Welcome everybody, welcome to Tarot Down Under. So here we are, can't wait to do this reading, Trump in October. Now first of all, a trigger warning. If there are any people cruising through on this channel for the first time, I do have to warn you, I consider Donald Trump to be a bully, a coward. He's a cretin, he has the brain of a budgerigar, he has the morals of a loan shark, doesn't pay his subcontractors, take me to court. He thinks that's funny. You do $100,000 worth of work for him, you pay the workers under you, he doesn't pay you. This is a guy who ripped off his own children's cancer foundation for 15 years, more, I think. They used it as a piggy bank. So this is not a nice man. It's an wretched creature. Anyway, he needed a lot of help to get over the line because America seemed determined to vote for a B-grade celebrity who had no credentials for the role, but it took a bit of help from Russia. It took a lot of help from the Electoral College, and it took half the eligible voters to not turn up. So let's not pretty it up, folks. He got in on roughly a quarter of the potential vote. But I'm not blaming him for that. There were a lot of other factors. A lot of things went into him being elected, just as a lot of things are now in play to get him out before he vandalizes the Constitution beyond recognition. So that's my introduction, so hopefully that's cleared it up for you. All right, if you're looking for a pro-Trump tarot reader, you might find somebody out there. Good luck and God bless in that endeavour. Now, for the rest of us, we're hanging to find out. Just before I forget, I did a collaboration with Johnny from Tarot's Apprentice yesterday. And because I'm a techno, whatever the opposite of techno whiz is, that's me. I'm a dinosaur. I couldn't put it up. I tried several times. And so I will put the link to it on this video. So we covered some ground. But in the meantime, tongues are out. What will October bring? So I'm going to use the Rider-Waite deck and I'm going to use the Tarot Sibyllas for clarifiers. So Trump in October. 3 cards for each week. Trump in October 2019. There he is. He's still the smug merchant. Week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. Oops. Now, there we have it. He's got a lot going on, which you don't need me to tell you, viewers. But it's my overall feel of this is a zigzagging sort of thing. So on the one hand, he's going to look, something will come out that's major and you think this is it, he's dead in the water, and then he'll climb back into the lifeboat and out and in and out and in. There's a zigzag going on here. Okay, his top card should be a happy card, hopes and wishes fulfilled. He wanted to be President of the United States. And you know what? He's sitting in the Oval Office. Thanks to the Electoral College, as I just said, apart from anything else. I'm sorry, America. As an Australian, I have to tell you, I really think you'd be well advised to get a National Electoral Commission that makes sure the votes are standardised. Different votes in different states shouldn't be like voting in different countries. It's crazy. Anyway, now you've got him and you've still got them. So a lot of work to do. Back to the Conald, as some call him. He's on the one hand panicking. This is the Gemini thing. He's going between deep throat panic and his habitual go-to, which is, I'm the greatest guy. I'm the hero of my own universe. Everything's okay. So we, the public, that's America and the rest of the world, are going to be doing this for the whole of October. Okay. Otherwise known as the smug merchant, and if ever there was one, it's him. So, now, the mercenary for hire, this isn't Trump. I think this is Mick Mulvaney, the treacherous scumbag occupying that particular role, Mick Mulvaney. He has sold himself out. He has sold you guys out. He is really, I don't even know where to come from with Mick Mulvaney. He's very difficult to read, but this is him as the mercenary. He is doing everything in his power to keep the Lion King above water. Why? I don't know. I don't want to know, actually, because there's no excuse for wanting that. The world. Now, yes, the world is watching. America sneezes, we get a cold. There's all of that side of the world. The world also can represent completion of a cycle. You know what else? See this reef in this particular card? There's also a bit of an element of the treadmill to it. Like when we, the public, think things are going really well, there's going to be an obstacle. When Trump and his cult followers think, it's okay, we're going to get out of this, they get a setback. So there's a treadmill. We're on a bit of a treadmill in October. But someone's walking away. Love it to be Donald. There is always that possibility. But I think I'm hearing whistleblowers. You know what's already started to happen is the whistleblowers are queuing up. Because if you work in the White House, if you've ever worked in the White House, if you've ever worked in a government department that had anything to do with the Yeti, you are putting your hand up to somebody to get legal advice and jump ahead and try and get immunity before they come down on your ass. Okay, so this is multiple walking away. It's interesting, it's an 8. I saw a video of Psychic Violetta's. She thought there were going to be at least 8 whistleblowers. I'm getting the 8, and this is turning the back on the security of the job, ignoring the destruction of the Yeti in the China shop. Violetta, if you're watching, I'm going with the 8. I think there are a lot of people, and I think it could be 88. There's going to be a lot of people lining up to say, please hear what I've got to tell you right now, and can I have immunity, please? Okay. So, week 1 already, a lot going on. Not a lot about Trump himself. So, in other words, this will be, what's activated now is people's responses to the impeachment inquiry. Now, week 2, he's going to come out whistling in the sense of he only believes, yes, people who are close to him, so already they're vetted to only say yes to him, and they don't have any idea or they're not game to tell him. So he's going to think in the second week of October that he can escape the full wrath of the law in the form of the King of Wands here. Now, Pelosi has certainly stepped up her game. The King of Wands, in a normal world, this would be someone like the Attorney General stepping in to uphold law and order. But we know that's not the case. I must read on bar. So this is someone else high up. I'm thinking high up in the CIA or FBI or both. These are senior guys. I'm getting more than one. They're very senior. They want to see him gone and replaced. So Trump has cast aspersions at the intelligence community from the beginning, lest we forget the Helsinki moment of embracing Putin and saying, our guys thought all this went on, but he told me he didn't do it, and I believe him. In that Helsinki speech, I think in CIA land and FBI land, something turned. They knew he wasn't the smartest guy when he got in. They knew he was unorthodox. They knew he'd try and take shortcuts. But I don't think they were ready for the degree of abuse and sabotage that he entered into with the whole Sessions recusal, non-recusal, all of that. They are now agitating for someone to replace him. Ooh. You wouldn't want the CIA and the FBI wanting you out of your job, would you really? Trump, of course, oblivious. He'll just keep on abusing them because, A, he's not smart enough to know that people don't like being abused. His experience is they just back down. Right? He expects everyone he abuses to just back down. And he's done that enough. People fell like skittles in the early days. And now what's left is people standing up to him. And the bully always hates that. So he's actually genuinely mystified. He doesn't understand the world anymore. Because his world existed of taking hamburgers, having sex willingly or unwillingly, I won't go there, allegedly, but powerful men always attract enough attractive women to bonk, so I'm sure that was part of his daily, weekly, what little cheerleader can I accost today? He is a very shallow man. Very shallow man. He had very simple pleasures before this, so it ran to hamburgers and porn stars. And now his world is much more complicated, and he has failed to catch up. Third week, it's always the third week for him. Letitia James, possibly Nancy Pelosi, but I'm getting this more as Letitia. This is someone on the front line of the legal fight. SDNY, New York, by the third week of October. And we've got to remind each other, viewers, because on the one hand, the Mueller testimony and Barr's bastardization of the report was so deflating that we forget the good things that Mueller did, which was hand over cases to New York to handle. And I think we're going to hear about some of them in the third week of October. That will cause the trumpet, apart from hysterical pharmaceutically induced tweets, to go into hermit mode. This is a relative state for the Yeti because the narcissist can't stop getting in front of the cameras and tweeting on. But in himself, he's going to be withdrawn. But also, this card has another meaning, which is searching for the truth. That's not him. He's never had a passing acquaintance with the truth. He can't even give his own height without lying. He can't tell you how many floors are in Trump Tower without lying and adding 10 floors. So we know that's not him seeking the truth. we have the legal eagle seeking the truth, and whoops, for the Lion King, they find it. I think they find a significant legal weapon against him in week 3. And it could well involve his horrendously privileged and self-centered children who also robbed the children's charity for their entire adult lives. Those children, they're not children, they're adult criminals. Okay. So individual 1 will be exposed, and there could be more. So week 4, it all just falls over. It is not good. We've got infighting everywhere. So the Dems will be having their behind-the-scenes stuff, probably along the lines, we've got enough, just go for it. Others saying, no, it has to be watertight. Some saying, he should also be charged with this, this, and this. And others saying, look, let's just do him on this. Just stick to the Ukraine. They'll be having all that argy-bargy. The GOP have much more complicated stories to unravel. What the hell are the GOP going to do with this inarticulate, monstrous Frankenstein that they have allowed out? The GOP, eternal shame upon their souls if they have not left or about to leave. Despite everything, the GOP, this is, still insist that the 50s were the good years, the 60s were the good years, happy days, when the most sinister thing you had to worry about was the Fonz in a leather jacket. So they don't look at what was really going on and the people who were being maltreated in the workplace, the sexual abuse, the child marriage of young girls all through the red states. That's something I should actually do a reading on. America has the highest rate of child marriage in the whole of the first world. But it's not called that, of course. That's called being a good Christian girl, getting married, right? Child marriage. Okay, sorry, I digress. So they're going to have all the fights with each other, but they seem incapable of catching up with what is really happening too. They've been in denial so long that nostalgia is their go-to position. I think this is GOP more than Trump. They are the sacrifice in this. There's more than a little irony in this, intrepid and dear viewers. So these are the ones who are not going to speak up. These are the ones who are going to just stay there. This is the Susan Collins and the ones that they haven't left the party. They're not actively supporting him like the nutcases, like the Jim Jordans and those horrible shock jocks. This is them going, oh, well, we'll just wait and see. Wait for what? For the democracy to be completely dismantled on your watch? What are you waiting for? Really vacuous, amoral people. You know. So let's find out a bit more detail with the Sibyllas. I'll just do one per week because this is already at 20 minutes. Intrepid viewers, though, the relief is still coursing through the veins, is it not? So things are moving. October's important because once November comes, Thanksgiving and all that, and then it slides into Christmas, and then January disappears, it's hard to get any sense out of anybody. But October, I'm still hearing money, meaning the stock market. I think there's going to be another serious wobble in October. So what's happening? extra information, please. Week 1. Oh, this is Sacerdote. This is a figure of insecurity. There's a deep thing going on with Trump. This figure, there's an anxiety to this figure, right? This might be wishful thinking on my part, viewers. Cut me a bit of slack here. I might be over-reading this. I think the evangelical leadership is getting a bit worried. They've had, Baker and Falwell and these guys. I see the anxiety here in this Puritan-like figure. There could be more church scandals in week 1. There could be more church scandals. Okay, but the level of anxiety amongst the GOP and the GOP base is rising. So, intrepid viewers, you who have this special status as intrepid viewers, this is the month you really, really, you need to keep an eye on what's going on because it's changing hourly and half hourly. But really try and calm yourselves so you can be effective in the new year. Be calm. Really try and be good. If you can afford to get a massage, go and get a massage. If you can't, offer to do one for someone and do a swap or something. Start doing trades for feel-good things. So really, eat well, all the basics. Because we're at a cusp. Let's say we're at a cusp, because by the end of January, things are going to be... This energy we're dealing with at the moment is, as I understand it, not as an astrologer, we're still dealing with the eclipse energy that also came up against the equinox energy when all hell broke loose. So, batten down the hatches. Here we go. Week 2. That's nice. Amore. So, this is exactly what I was saying. Be kind. If you're in a workplace, and I know quite a few of you are, where you're still surrounded by cultists, take the higher ground. I'm channeling Michelle Obama here. Take the higher ground. You know what? Just ignore them. Don't get dragged into a fight. You can't reason with these people. So, really? And move away as much as you can. Try not to expose yourself socially to these people. And I know a lot of you have them in families and other things. So it's a bit of a tap dance. You don't want to go head to head, because either they believe it and you cannot penetrate, or they realise they've been sucked in and are embarrassed. Either way, their energy is going to get uglier week 2 as this whole series of scandals bites. So you show them love. This is the card of love. Right? Your first impulse might be other than that. But take a big breath. Higher self. I'm sorry you think it's all right to steal money on this scale, but I love you anyway. I'm sorry if you feel that way. Move on. Week 3, the juicy week 3. What have we got? Oh, fidelity, trust. Faith and trust. Faith and trust. But whose faith and whose trust? I think it's going to become apparent by week 3 of October who to put your faith in and who to trust. At this point, you've had the Attorney General, You've had all these other players. You've had Mick Mulvaney turn, etc., etc. People who are in positions of trust who simply aren't up to it. So I think fidelity and trust will be a question. I think the issue people will be asking themselves, this is the queue of potential whistleblowers. Am I going to be faithful to Trump or to my country? That is the real question around trust. Week 3. Week 4. Enemies. Just as well we've had the love and trust, because week 4, ouch! Enemies where this is Trump's October, where he doesn't expect them. And that is, I think, as the whistleblowers make their stories known, he's going to keep getting these barbs. What do you mean, that department? What do you mean, that guy? What do you mean, that woman? You know, she should have been happy that I was groping her in the elevator. What's wrong with her? She's a nasty woman. Stuff is going to come pouring out in the course of October, and he's going to find out he's surrounded by enemies, not friends. And this is going to be a revelation for the Yeti, because he's so emotionally disconnected, right? He can't process emotion, because his only emotion is, am I happy? Am I rich? Who cares about the debt? He has no emotional depth. So he's going to be sort of hauled through this process of watching people defect. And it's going to send him round the bend. If we think he's been mad till now, buckle up. But it's all a sign that he is not going to be allowed to get away with this. The Republicans are coming up to the midnight hour. If they're not off the sinking ship soon, they're part of it. In history, but in reality and in legal land. So you heard the NRA have offered to pay Trump's impeachment fees. We just want a favour. You drop all that rubbish about gun control. So he's been caught enmeshed in his own shallowness and nastiness. Well, plenty to think about. So guys, keep the comments rolling in. I try and answer as many as I can. I do read them all. I love you guys, so keep at it. Stay strong. Rise above it. Look down on it from a celestial position and watch it unfold, and be very good and kind. Bye now. Ciao.